yeah. It's Jonesy Amanda's got it wrong flaw. Yeah. It's Jonesy Amanda's got it wrong flaw.
On the cutting room floor today, Amanda.
Well, another example of how competitive men are. I mean, are you the sort of person that would, as they say, bet on two flies climbing up a wall? Are you that guy?
I got a brother, and my brother and I are very competitive when we were kids with a lot of stuff.
What would you give me an example?
Oh, just everything. It'd be, the size of our penises.
Did you measure them?
Yeah, of course. Yep.
In front of each other?
Yeah.
How did you measure them?
With a ruler.
King Charles? So you both used the same ruler?
No, different rulers.
From where to where? From go to woe?
From go to woe, yeah. And there was a dispute over that because then there was
Did you think that someone had cheated and used a bit more of?
Well, yeah. Then there was various stages of.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, it's not White Lotus. No, it's not like
Who
White
won?
Lotus. I'd say.
I obviously not you.
No, it's dead even.
Look at you.
No,
blinking.
it's dead even.
I.
Mine's. I'll say this. I'm not a big show off, but mine's bigger than his. Okay. Mine's bigger. I was just,
And who have you told, apart from everyone on the radio?
Everyone. And all the time now, my brother always says, my penis is smaller than yours. I was scared, though, that my wife said, no, it's not.
No.
That worried me. Should I be worried about that? Anyway,
why do uncles join in?
Why did you ask?
The reason I bring this up is that this is a story from a university campus, the University of Southern California.
Yep.
They have staged the world's first sperm race. So 2 college students, before I get to what the race was, this is a big deal. This was a $1.4 million spectacle. It took place in the LA Center Studios, which normally host Hollywood productions, big movies.
Yep.
Tickets for this event were $20 for students, $40 for general admission. VIP tickets were up to $1,000. This was a big deal. A lot of people came to see what was going to be going on.
Yeah, well, it is curious, a sperm race.
A sperm race. So I'll tell you what they did. The event, which had giant screens, weigh-ins, leaderboards, play-by-play commentary, these guys donated their own sperm just minutes before the event. It was kept warm, then it was put into a centrifuge, which caused the actual sperm cells to drop to the bottom so they could be loaded into a racetrack.
Oh.
In the midst of microfluidic channel.
Right. So is this actual microfluidic fluids?
Yes.
From a woman, I'm
No, I
presuming,
don't think so. I think they were chemicals. I don't think that. So these things weren't put into a female.
No.
So each participant donated his contribution. A centrifuge.
Body Blue was saying, hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Separated the
2
cells
fallopian tubes, no waiting.
in a centrifuge so they could isolate the sperm. And then they put that into a chamber, I guess.
Well,
the racetrack was 8 inches long and is modelled on the female reproductive system.
Yep.
So what they did, though...
And did it have all the aforementioned...
no. Well, it had some shapes to it and had some bits they had to work
some
their
obstacles.
way around. Because the thing is that normally they swim upstream and they couldn't really replicate that. So what they did, they had a gentle electric current through the racetrack to encourage the racing sperm to stay on course.
No.
So it had to go around a curly wheel and come out and then go through, as you say, a series of a couple of obstacles. And that's what happened. Actually, would you like to hear how it played out?
Oh, please.
This is some of the audio for how it went down.
1. New entry.
Oh, shit. They're going. Who's winning?
Once they enter the chamber, we are
Are you guys
live.
ready?
Oh! This is enormous.
Shit.
Jimmy is off to the races. This might not even be close.
Oh, my
All
God.
of those years of YouTube.
Who is that?
The feminist. The 800 credit score. Jimmy is long gone. No, his swimmers aren't even on the screen. This is a
Jimmy?
microscopic masterclass.
Okay.
There's a cameraman working on the event who said this is the downfall of society.
Do you think?
You know how you've had I was going to say circumcision. What's the word I'm looking for?
I've had a circumcision, not recently, when I was a little baby.
But what was it you had?
Vasectomy.
And if you were to compete in this with your brother, do yours still swim?
Yeah, because I've got sperm, but I don't have any.
So the sperm can't impregnate an egg.
No, so I
So it
guess
just
I don't
swims
swim.
around and isn't interested in the egg, or are you not producing sperm?
Well, I've got the
Yeah, but-
fluid.
Yeah, but there's probably no sperm in it.
Yeah, it's because my brother hasn't had a vasectomy. I've had one.
So he'd win. Am I correct? Should I Google it? What will I Google? If you've had a vasectomy,
Yeah,
do you produce?
sperm.
Okay, let me. You fill in, Brendan.
Okay.
If you've had a
Well,
Sorry,
I can't
everybody.
fill in if you kept talking while you do this.
vasectomy,
Yeah.
can
Why don't you ask Siri?
produce? Okay. Hey Siri, if you've had a vasectomy, can you produce sperm? She
Okay.
wants me to go to ChatGPT. I'll search the web.
Okay, sure.
The testes still make sperm,
Mm.
but the sperm die and are absorbed by the body. A person who's had a vasectomy still makes semen
Yeah.
and is able to, have fluids happening in moments.
Ejaculate.
Thank you, yeah. But the sperm die, so they wouldn't go on this track, even if you put electric
I
charge
reckon mine
behind
would.
it.
If it was up against my brother, just for
Well,
the
you
sake
know
of
what?
competition.
Let's see what we can do.
Okay.
Let's see what we can do.
Break out the old ruler.
King Charles, get him on the phone.
It's the cutting room floor. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
On the cutting room floor today, when you were at school, did you like a diorama?
Oh, God. You loved a diorama.
I was so
I
good
never
at it.
made one single diorama. My school projects, the most elaborate I ever got, was putting some white rice, folded it up in glad wrap, stapled it to a piece of cardboard and said, this is what they ate in Asia. That's as
You just
elaborate
made
as my
that up.
projects got.
I was such a dab hand at dioramas, and it all started. I remember the first time I made some ye olde parchment. You just got a piece of paper,
And burnt around the edges.
but I've soaked it in milk, and
Oh.
then, I let it. See, I'm a professional, and get some cursive writing when it's dried
What does
out.
the milk do?
Well, you burn around the edges, and you get like ye olde times.
Because if you just burn around the edges without doing that, it burns the house down.
Well, then I found that the more you burn it, the less they could read.
Oh.
So there'd be giant tracts of script that wasn't even in there.
Wow, who knew?
I said, well-
That's ye olde worldy. It's just weathered.
Well, sir, it's just the ye
just
olde
weathered.
times. It's just weather. And they said, no, it's not, Jones. You made it last week.
And also, it's a project about the future.
And they also said, you didn't make it last week. You made it last night.
Yeah.
So,
What were your favourite dioramas?
oh, okay, the Titanic.
What did you depict?
The Titanic sinking.
But
naturally.
how? But tell me how.
So you get a fruit box, cardboard box on its side, bit of cardboard in the middle. That's the divider between the surface and under the water.
Right, and you
get a big-
you inserted that cardboard.
You insert the cardboard and you get an iceberg, all little bit of tip and then a huge underneath. And then
Made out of what?
out of cardboard or whatever you had. Sometimes I'd use a bit of paper mache there, bit of chicken wire, paper mache.
Wow, that's elaborate.
And then I have a ship, a store-bought ship, perhaps like an old model that I hadn't bothered finishing. And I put that in. And that was
And did you cut into it with a Stanley knife? You do all
Yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff.
It was just gross. Look at the scar. Look at this scar here. Can you see that on
What's
my...
that from?
That's from the Stanley knife dealing with making dioramas as a kid.
So a lot of people died on the Titanic, but your scar
That was the
lives
horror.
on.
I should be a part of I should be when James Cameron puts together another one of those documentaries.
You should be in it.
I should say, well, look at this. Forget that. Forget about floating around in the water and drowning. Look at this.
Look at that.
So that was
I'm king of the world.
my Titanic was so good. One year in 5th class, I presented it and got an A+. Next year in 6th class, dug it up, presented it again and got an A-. The teacher, because it's a different teacher,
Right.
didn't even know.
I
Said
see.
this was, when
That's how you got your job here. You presented it.
it was looking a bit dog-eared by that. Jones, we saw that 50 times.
Your career's sinking, mate.
I made some great ones. I made one of the gold mines, made a gold mine.
Once again, cardboard box on its side.
This time discovered plaster of Paris. And once you learn how plaster of Paris hardens, so what I got was some foam, spongy foam. So I made like a square of spongy foam from an old lounge. So I cut out some tracks in it, in the spongy foam. Then I filled that, covered that with plaster so it hardened. And then I painted it brown and I put like old school miners, like army soldiers, put them in there, pretending they were in the gold mines of
That's
Victoria.
pretty clever.
And then I brought it out again, painted it and got some other army men with guns and stuff.
And that was your war one.
But I got caught out. The teacher said, all you've done.
Yeah. And can I also ask, was it really an old sofa or your mum looked the other way?
Yeah, no, it was an old sofa.
I understood how plaster of Paris hardened because a friend of mine,
You toured with Kiss?
I had a pen friend in, I think it was England or America, I can't even remember. But we sent each other cassettes, and she sent a cassette back saying, well, it sounds like your mum was a bit cranky. And I had no idea that while I was chatting to her, I kept the recording going, and I was making some kind of doll arrangement of plaster of Paris all over the back steps, and it had fused onto the steps. And Mum hadn't been happy, and that's what was recorded and sent to my pen friend.
So the late Jennifer Keller yelling at her daughter.
Well, I don't remember Mum yelling, but I wouldn't have been happy. Would you have been happy with plaster of Paris stuck all over your steps?
No, I would not like that at all, unless it was fashioned into a gold field or
then you'd be thrilled.
World War I battlefield.
Why are you talking about
The reason I
dioramas?
bring this up is because, and I thought that the days of the diorama was gone, the kids didn't make them anymore, because my kids at school would do the Easter, they do this Easter, what was it? Easter diorama, I think it was. It was called an Easter diorama. And
let me guess, is that the only homework you ever helped them with?
I helped them out. I had Batman, but it was Eggman.
Right.
So 2 eggs, done up like Batman and Robin,
right,
with a whole backdrop. That was pretty good of Gotham City.
And did they have to pretend they'd made it?
No, did you get any help from anyone? And when they switched on the lights, like I had all these lights in the building. And then I had another one which got a bit of derision and didn't get my daughter didn't want to go with it, but I said this will be good. Broken Egg Mountain.
And what were the eggs doing?
That one was broken and one was looking forlorn, with his little cowboy hat. And Roman, he said, I don't want to do it. I said, this will win.
Yeah.
And it didn't. And it didn't even get put at the front display of all the exhibitions. That's what it was called, the exhibition for Easter. Now they do hats. Right. Because of me. You can't. Anyway, I can't help that those people of the Shire weren't really open to a movie about 2 homosexual
cowboys. They weren't advanced enough.
But the reason I brought it up is on Instagram, the Perfect Science Project doesn't meaning hold my beer. This young kid's put together a diorama. Does your cat's butthole really touch all the surfaces in your home?
And what have they presented?
So it's a fold-out one.
Right.
So it's not, there's no models in it, but nonetheless, I do appreciate.
Is it quite thorough?
What the kid's done.
And are they looking at where the cat sits and whether its bum's touching things?
They're quite extraordinary.
And
dimensions.
Does it end up saying that, yes, it touches every surface?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, the cat's butthole is everywhere. I would have liked to have seen a replica of the cat's butthole. Made
from plaster of Paris?
Yeah, I think you could do it.
You can use it as a pencil sharpener later on.
Later on. These are the handy things. But, kid, I salute you. I think it's great.
Okay.
If I could get some army soldiers in there.
Another war has passed.
Hey, get ready. Everybody, here is some more. Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor. Hey, get ready. Everybody, here is some more. Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor.
On the cutting room floor today, Amanda, another case of a child damaging a very expensive artwork.
In a gallery?
Yep. At the Dutch Museum, the Rothko painting, $85 million painting it was.
What'd the kid do?
Kids got up and just fondled the painting, as kids do.
Fondled it?
Oh, not fondled it. That sounds sad.
Scratched it?
Scratched the
paint?
paint. Yeah, scratched
Dribbled
the paint.
on it?
Just scratched it. The painting Grey, Orange on Maroon, number 8 by Mark Rothko.
One of my favourites.
Sustained superficial damage. So it's not too bad. But the kid has got
How old's
that.
the kid?
Doesn't say how old the kid was. But, it's not like one of those stop oil douchebags that go around throwing red paint on everything. So we'll have to be boring and drive electric cars. It's a kid who has no control of their senses.
No, but a parent
A bit
does.
like a stop oil protester.
This drives me crazy because what parent lets their kid run up and touch a painting? I don't understand how undisciplined children are. I sound like a curmudgeon, but I don't get how these kids can be so undisciplined.
Well, you'd imagine that they'd cover it up a little bit more, though, wouldn't they? Well, they'd at least put the velvet rope around it.
I'm surprised, but not every painting is going to be that. You can get up close and personal.
Yeah.
For the kid to get there and presumably reach up, depending how old the kid was, reach up and do it, That's bad. How much damage did it cause?
No, it's not bad. Officials have expressed confidence that the painting will be able to return to public display in the future.
It'd be funny if it was Edward Munch's, the scream, and he's scratching it and the face is going, stop it!
Well, remember that time Edward Munch's scream got stolen by those robbers. Yeah. So imagine the robbers running down the road with it under his arm. And there's...
I wish he'd scratch the dogs playing poker and the dogs are just going.
But kids, when you take them out in public, there's always trouble.
There's always a fear. There's always a fear. One of the first times we thought we'd try and blood Liam when he was earlier, and we'd go to a restaurant, just a fish and chip place down the road.
Mm-hmm.
And he went to the loo, and then he charmingly was chatting to a woman at the next table. What she didn't know, and I saw to my horror when he stepped away, is he had tomato sauce all over his hand. He's had his hand on the back of a jumper, chatting to her like he was a maitre d'. I thought, isn't he delightful?
With a big red handprint.
Oh, terrible.
My son, years ago, I was working at a radio station in Brisbane, and they used to do a thing called the River Fire.
What was that?
Basically, to make the Brisbane River look more interesting, they put fireworks.
They stopped it being brown.
They put fireworks. Yeah, to take the focus away from the brownness of the Brisbane River, they put fireworks all around it, and it culminates with an F-A-18, I think, at the time.
Plane.
One of the big get-out-of-town, the one warplane we've got. It goes down the length of the Brisbane River and does a giant burnout, an afterburn. So they dump all this fuel into the Brisbane River and it's all fire and it's, done to this rock and music track. You got Phil Collins in the air tonight and all this stuff has to be timed out to the second. So in the broadcast studio, we've got our music timed out and then there was a master clock.
So you were working on the night?
Yeah, I was working on the night and the head technician said, everything has to be timed out perfectly to this master clock. Every song, when Owner of a Lonely Heart by Yes comes on, then it's got to go into Phil Collins in the air tonight. And it was all...
Shut up your face. All the songs were lined up.
For when all the fireworks go off. Boom, 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 boom,
fair
boom.
enough. You're a radio guy. You'd know how to do this.
Plane comes over the top, afterburn.
Drama. Timing, perfection.
And then triple M.
So good.
At the end. And
good.
And that's all you had to do. I took my son, who at the time was 4 years of age, along just to see Dad at work at his workplace. So while the technician was explaining all this, and what do you know about technicians?
They're quite dour sometimes.
Yeah, and
I like ours, let's just say that.
Our guys are great, but they can be a little humorless sometimes.
Little black and white, little humorless.
So as this guy, and no one touched this clock.
Well, duh.
And
you
as
don't
he's
have to be
turned
dour
his,
to say that. You do. It's the timing's everything.
As he's turned his back, I've watched Morgan put his finger through the clock face. The clock didn't have a glass or anything in front of it. So he's put it through the...
So you're one of those parents that let their kids do
No,
that.
the kid was like, because as soon as he said, don't touch this clock,
Right, okay.
Morgan's put his finger through there and it stopped the second hand.
This story's going to make me throw up.
For at least, I reckon, 2.5 seconds to 3 seconds tops. It was almost like everything slowed down. 1,000, 2,000. And I went, and I didn't say anything. No one noticed. No one noticed anything.
And how did your sphincter go when you were watching this spectacle
My
begin?
sphincter was just, and then the tech came in and said, that clock is 3 seconds out. What's happened?
So this is before.
This is as it's going, as the whole thing's going to air, like as it's happening. So the master clock that we'd all timed out to was now 3 seconds out. The other clock, so there was a series of clocks.
What was the plane going to be on?
Well, the plane was on the master clock. That's why we had the master clock, and they're talking to the pilot.
So if you're all on the same timing, is it okay, or do some of the fireworks on another clock?
As it turned out, a headwind slowed the plane down a little bit. So 3 seconds dovetailed nicely.
Wow.
It was at that point that I brought up my son and put his finger in the clock.
Did you say it?
Yeah. But that didn't go down well.
Laughed and laughed and said, aren't kids fun?
That didn't go down well.
Oh, well, your afterburners were going, I bet.
And but for a while then, my undies were going to look like the Brisbane River.
Hey, get ready. Everybody hear some more row. Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room before.
Welcome to the cutting room floor. Just looking for the sweepings that fell off the workbench.
Yeah, stuff like that. We spoke on our radio show, in case you don't know, in case this is the only snippet of us you hear, we have a breakfast show and we speak about things. Why are you pulling a face?
Okay. We haven't been doing it for some time.
Yeah, well, people might be new to this.
It's a bit cart before the horse, though, isn't it?
No, well, my point is that we spoke on our radio show about a recent increase in shark attacks in parts of the world that don't normally see this. And what the answer was as to this increase was put down to influencers taking big risks in the wild, punching sharks in the nose, luring them by wearing a chop around their neck or whatever it was.
Yes.
That's increased shark attacks. You think, what an idiot. Who would do that? And then I don't know if you've seen this footage, which is really disturbing. The person lived, let's start with that. But there's a zoo in the Philippines and a visitor thought he would climb the crocodile enclosure. He says he thought it was a plastic feature when he saw a giant croc in there. He's climbed the enclosure and it's terrible. You see him sitting there grinning, taking a picture, and then a fully grown female croc charges him. She charges him. She sinks her fangs into his arm. You can be heard screaming. And then the croc puts him into a death roll. And lucky for him, that happened for 30 minutes. He was
30
in the
minutes?
enclosure for 30 minutes. Maybe in Philippines they're having a siesta. I don't know what they were doing, but it took 30 minutes before the handler of that croc was able to free the man by bashing the croc on the head with a piece of cement to loosen her grip. Wow. So he's lucky he's alive. He was just walking around. They said he saw the crocodile, thought it was a plastic feature. He climbed the fence to take a photo, and the people who run the zoo are saying, this behaviour is very dangerous. No one should ever go into an enclosure. He's put other people's lives at risk, and he's lucky to have survived.
I would imagine that he didn't watch the guy for 30 minutes. I would say that they tried to work out how to get him out for 30 minutes.
Yeah, quick, go and get a feather to tickle the croc.
They wouldn't have
with.
just sat there and thought, well, let's see how he goes with this.
Look, we'll give him 29 minutes and then we'll step in. But, remember there's some strange footage. Have you ever seen this street in Hanoi? It's a street where the people have set up shops.
Yes, I have,
and
yes.
food right next to where the train is. It freaks me out just looking at
Well, the shops, the train
vision
comes
of it.
through there, but because of the urbanisation of Hanoi, it's expanded onto the infrastructure.
It's terrifyingly close. And lots of people trying to get Instagram shots of that have been saved by shopkeepers saying, and grabbing them and pulling them back, saying, this is a real thing. This train's coming. This isn't pretend. Harley's been in New Zealand at Rotorua. And he heard an American tourist saying to another, if we weren't allowed to walk on this, there'd be a sign.
Yeah, it's a lot of boiling mud.
There's a lot of boiling mud, and they think, I can walk on that because no one's telling me not to. Mm-hmm. People are forgetting that the world is real. Animals are real. The world is dangerous.
Yeah.
There's a mother and daughter visiting the Hoover Dam. This stuff freaks me out. Just seeing the vision of those big drop-offs at dams, terrifying. This woman, she saw a sign warning visitors not to climb or sit on the wall. It's a 700-foot drop.
Yep.
This mother placed her 5-year-old daughter there for a photograph. This stuff makes my stomach
Do you think
drop.
Maybe it's just natural selection? Maybe that's what it is.
But this
Because there's warning signs on everything there.
I know.
Ceiling fans. Do not put your head in fan.
But I think it's the phone. I think it's Instagram. I think people's looking at other people's adventures think the world is safe, much safer than it is.
People will do stupid stuff when they're on a TV camera. Look at like whenever a weather presenter presents weather, all of a sudden there's people just in the background going, yay!
I spoke to a woman when I was filming.
I apologise for that, by the way.
It was during a cyclone. It was very
I was actually
inappropriate.
presenting the weather and I went, "Whoa, I'm on TV.
That's not even funny because that's how they are. I spoke to a woman who was working with the Wildlife Foundation, and she said that when she was training, they look at the worst footage of people going up to, say, grizzly bears in the wild and saying, here, do you want a cookie? And then bang, head comes off. The head comes off because these are wild animals. We forget.
Yep. F around and find out.
Yeah, but that's right. So don't forget. Don't F around or you will find out.
Okay.
When's this going to be on?
That's your latest show.
It's called When's This Going to Be On? And people just gurn at the camera.
Hey, 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 everybody, it's time for Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor. Hey, 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 everybody, it's time for Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor. It's the cutting room floor.
Down on the cutting room floor, and there's been a big discussion going around all the water coolers of the world.
This is man versus gorilla. This is the thing. My sons were talking about this during the week, and I've seen since then it's been absolutely everywhere. social media users have been debating who would win in a hypothetical matchup, one gorilla versus 100 men. You know what this comes from? I think, remember a while ago, it was that whole thing about could a man land a plane? Men think they can.
Yep.
You thought you could
Easy.
outrun a racehorse
Not as
over 10 metres, was it?
No, straight out of the box.
Yeah.
Because I'm a man and I'm smart, so I distract the horse with something, not dressed up like Bugs Bunny.
Right. You would
As a woman. But,
you would
distract-
outrun a horse.
While the horse goes, ogre.
Remember that whole thing also about whether men could outrun a bear?
Yeah.
Men have been practicing their heads how they do a big zigzag to get away from a bear.
I don't know if women think about this, but wherever I go, I'm always thinking, what would I do if a terrorist / horse / bear comes into this room?
Well, you can relax because I'm looking around and I think you're quite safe. Though the guy that's watering the plants is outside. Be careful of him.
I'm not worried about him. He's just going to suck the oxygen out of the room.
Experts agree that one gorilla is stronger than one man. What you'd have to do is that. See, I heard my sons debate this, saying, I reckon I could take on a gorilla. And because Jack said, people underestimate how strong a man is. I said, you would be ripped limb from limb. You'd be ripped limb from limb. So this is why men wouldn't be able to do it, because they'd have to strategize. Women, I think, could strategize. They've said here the only way it could happen is if men were in a circle somehow around it and strategized to tire the gorilla out. Men would have to coordinate their behaviour.
Yep.
No one be a hero here. Work together to tire the gorilla out.
I think it'd have to be a stacks on thing.
What's that
Do you
mean?
remember, did you ever do stacks on?
No.
No, because you're a girl. Stacks on, someone on the footy field falls over or is on the ground and then everyone says, stacks on.
And they all jump on top.
And everyone jumps on top.
But how do you get the gorilla on the ground?
Well, that's the thing, stacks
That's
on.
the
so
thing.
the gorilla would have to fall down. So in principle, your tiring out thing would work. So somehow you get the gorilla to, how would you tire out a gorilla? Maybe get him moving around.
Make him watch The Floor, that TV show. Could do it that way.
But the floor's rating very well.
It takes ages. It takes ages.
So, yes, okay. So you put the floor on.
And make him watch it night after night and he's tired.
Or distracted because he's engaged by Roger Corse's
Yeah, could happen. Could happen.
dapper ways. And then the gorilla is it starts to feel a bit sleepy, falls on the ground, stacks on.
And would you be the first person to jump on?
Well, being the first stacks on is a tough one. You've got to, when the stacks on happens,
You're hoping
gorillas on the
someone
ground,
else is going to be
you
the
have
first
to
one.
have, it's a phalanx of everyone on the stacks on. And then other people come from nowhere. I've been involved in a stacks on where people have come from other suburbs
And
to
then
pile on.
at the end of the stacks on, who steps out and steps back to let the gorilla revive? He's had a rest. He's ready to watch more of the floor. Comes back and rips you limb from limb.
Well, no, you don't want to get him to revive.
No, you don't want him to. But what if he does? He just stacks on. He like in the playground, they're the rules. You've been swamped. A gorilla doesn't know that.
What I usually learnt from that is then we all get sent down to the principal's office.
Maybe the gorilla goes to the principal's office and said they started it.
He's bullying
This
them.
has been escalated now. I saw one recently. Someone said, "All right, F it, 10,000 gorillas versus 1 million men," and it's a computerized thing. And the men are dressed as mid-management metrosexuals.
Right.
They've got shirts and jumpers, and they're running at them, and the gorillas are just ripping them limb from limb, and the men are just flying into the air.
Yeah.
There wasn't any strategy involved. It was just stacks on.
I think when any time life presents you a hazard or a trouble.
Stacks on.
Stacks on.
And then I saw a T-shirt that said, "I'm not a gorilla, but I can beat off 1 million men."
Were you wearing that? Was it in a mirror?
Good luck, everyone.
Okay, motherfucker. That's it for today. Come back tomorrow for more Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor.